Wow, okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, can't tell that one either.
For years, Ashton and Mila were considered one of Hollywood's golden couples, real-life spouses. But industry insiders began hearing chatter that Mila might be planning to separate. Word on the street is that she's grown increasingly uncomfortable with Ashton's lingering connections to alleged predators, from Diddy to the ghost of the Hollywood Ripper ordeal. There's even speculation that she might be cooperating with authorities in some capacity, or quietly distancing herself to protect her own future. Some claim Mila's devotion to Ashton has wavered because new revelations keep surfacing, ones that could place Ashton at the heart of circles infamous for exploiting women and children. Could she be bracing for an even bigger bombshell to hit the public? Nobody knows for sure, but her body language and measured responses in public interviews have only added fuel to the rumor fire. If there's any truth to these breakup theories, it'd represent a colossal shift in Ashton's life. For more than 2 decades, he's carefully shaped an image of the fun-loving star with a passion for philanthropy. To lose Mila, the woman who first met him as a teenage co-star, would likely shatter that family man persona he's cultivated in recent years. And yet, the biggest question remains: are we seeing the real Ashton Kutcher right now? Or have we only glimpsed what he wants us to see? From an adored sitcom star to a philanthropic figure, Ashton Kutcher has long radiated an aura of genuine kindness. Still, his journey is tangled up in unsettling coincidences, sudden losses, rumored exploitation, and friendships that turned shockingly sinister. Whether it's the heartbreak around Brittany Murphy, the horrifying tale of Ashley Ellerin, or the swirling allegations against Diddy and Danny Masterson, Ashton's once bright narrative has acquired a series of dark footnotes. For some, these events may simply mark a run of tragic, unpredictable circumstances. For others, they raise disturbing questions about just how much Hollywood's nice guy has seen or done behind the scenes. Could it all be coincidence, or do these shadows suggest something more? As fans and critics alike dig deeper, one truth stands out. The line between public persona and private reality can be razor thin, and in the end, only those at the center of it truly know what happened. What do you believe? Is Ashton Kutcher the philanthropic actor devoted to helping others, or do these controversies reveal a hidden side few ever suspected? Until another piece of this puzzle surfaces, the final verdict remains with you, the viewer. Share your thoughts, stay curious, and remember that sometimes the biggest shocks in Hollywood aren't found in the movies, they're in the real lives of its stars. Sean Diddy Combs is almost a music industry institution, launching Bad Boy Records and ushering iconic artists like the notorious B.I.G. to massive fame. Over the years, Diddy's legacy became one of lavish parties, high-end fashion lines, and chart-topping hits. And weaving in and out of that legacy, we spot Ashton Kutcher, smiling at Diddy's legendary white parties, collaborating on MTV's star-making reality shows, even receiving public praise from Diddy in prestigious magazines. On the surface, it all looked like 2 big names enjoying life at the top. But as the legal climate around Diddy grew darker, allegations of SA, possible trafficking, and more, speculations about Ashton's proximity to that world intensified. Could Ashton have witnessed any questionable behavior? Did he simply keep quiet, or was he fully in the dark about any wrongdoing? The fact that Ashton sometimes cryptically jokes about parties he can't talk about has only fueled speculation. For critics, these hush-hush references are more than comedic throwaways. They might be glimpses into parties that were anything but innocent. Of course, no solid proof has been laid out that Ashton participated in illegal activities. Yet the rumor mill churns relentlessly when big names land in big trouble. And these days, Diddy's court battles may just be the tip of the iceberg. But what if trouble doesn't just come from outside circles? Ashton's own friend and co-star of many years became embroiled in a legal firestorm that threatened to drag everyone connected to him into the spotlight, and Ashton's reaction lit a fuse with fans everywhere. The Danny Masterson saga shook longtime fans of that 70s show to the core. Masterson faced severe A charges that eventually led to a high-profile trial. The subsequent conviction placed him behind bars for decades. Then it came to light that Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis wrote letters vouching for Masterson's character, asking the judge for leniency. Public outrage was swift and brutal. People questioned how Ashton could, on one hand, co-found an organization fighting child exploitation, and on the other, provide a glowing reference for someone convicted of violating multiple women. Critics claimed that his and Mila's letters effectively undermined the testimony of Masterson's accusers. Although Ashton later apologized, stating that they never intended to dismiss the victims, it was too little, too late in the eyes of many. It didn't help that another Hollywood actress, Christina Ricci, wrote a searing note of her own, calling out the hypocrisy of individuals who support abusers based on personal friendships. She reminded the public that even awesome guys could do horrible things in private. Many read her words as a direct critique of Ashton and Mila. Meanwhile, rumors swirled about what else the couple might be hiding, especially with Ashton's carefully curated philanthropic persona, seeming at odds with defending a convicted individual. And just when you think the list of controversies can't grow any longer, new whispers suggest that Ashton's personal life may be on the verge of collapsing, and not just because of a damaged reputation. Before her name found its way into controversy, Davy, often spelled Davy Chase, was a beloved child star. She gave life to Lilo in Disney's Lilo and Stitch, and the entire world heard her voice utter the famous line, "Ohana means family." But Davy showed she could also terrify audiences as the chilling Samara in The Ring. By the time she was 12, she had racked up more acting credits than most adults see in a lifetime. Then, somewhere after her early teenage years, Davy Chase drifted from the mainstream spotlight, fueling speculation about what might have happened behind the scenes. Rumors abounded about the darker underbelly of Hollywood, especially as more child actors have opened up about exploitation. One incident that stands out, Davy was reportedly invited to one of Sean Diddy Combs' infamous after-parties while still a minor. The story goes that Ashton Kutcher and Diddy both crossed paths with her that same night, sparking uncomfortable questions about why a 12-year-old was anywhere near an adult. Late-night Hollywood bash. A viral video clip from that era shows Diddy casually asking Davy if she'd be attending his party, while Ashton hovers nearby, congratulating her for an award. Even if it was meant to be harmless, the optics are disturbing. Critics point out that it's just one more example of child stars being thrust into highly adult situations, with celebrities many years their senior. Nobody's publicly pinned wrongdoing on Ashton over that specific incident, yet the association alone raises eyebrows. Disturbing rumors are one thing, but a truly brutal event in Ashton's life forced him into a courtroom years later, and it involved the unthinkable fate of another young woman he once knew. In February 2001, 22-year-old fashion student Ashley Ellerin was looking forward to a night out with Ashton Kutcher. The rising Hollywood star was supposed to pick her up for a party, but he arrived only to find the lights off and the door locked. He later testified that he glimpsed what he thought was spilled red wine on the floor. Tragically, Ashley was inside, having been stabbed 47 times by a man who came to be known as the Hollywood Ripper. That man, Michael Gargiulo, was eventually convicted as a vicious predator responsible for multiple attacks on women. While few people believed Ashton had a direct role in the crime, the details of that night felt murky. How had he not noticed anything more suspicious? Why did he assume the stains were wine, yet never called the police or even tried calling Ashley repeatedly? Conspiracy theories popped up, speculating that Ashton either withheld key information or was somehow terrified to step forward with all he knew. Almost 2 decades later, Ashton testified in court about the night of Ashley's passing. He described freaking out after learning she'd been found unalived, especially since his own fingerprints would have been all over her front door. Though he cooperated with authorities, fans remained uneasy. Perhaps it was just a devastating coincidence. Or maybe it was another brush with darkness lurking behind Ashton's ever-likable exterior. But Ashley Ellerin wasn't the only tragedy that kept coming back into Ashton's life. It turns out that one of his most enduring friendships was with a man currently facing scandalous charges that range from money schemes to horrifying exploitation. They say no Hollywood star's life is as perfect as it looks, and Ashton Kutcher might be living proof. Best known for his comedic roles and charming grin, he spent years cultivating a wholesome image. But behind the friendly face and slick performances, whispers of tragic losses, dark entanglements, and puzzling accusations have never quite gone away. Where does the truth lie when a man who rose to fame on a feel-good sitcom is suddenly connected to unspeakable tragedies, rumored exploitation, and shocking legal scandals? Today we're peeling back the layers, letting you decide if the pieces add up, or if they form an entirely different picture altogether. His lovable goofball act as Michael Kelso on that 70s show. He was the guy who made you laugh, the cute airhead with zero filter and a mischievous grin. After that, he jumped from the small screen to star in box office-friendly rom-coms like Just Married, What Happens in Vegas, and more. He even solidified his place in pop culture by creating Punk'd, a show that let him prank other stars. All in good fun, or so it seemed at the time. Yet for all those well-known comedic stints, people seldom talked about Ashton's life outside his camera-ready persona. We assumed he was just that nice, laid-back guy who got lucky. But as the years went by, darker stories began to surface. Fans started to ask, was the real Ashton Kutcher an entirely different character off-screen? And if so, how far did his connections reach? But it wasn't just fan theories and gossip that made people question Ashton's carefree image. Some of the biggest doubts began after the untimely passing of someone everyone believed would be a forever star. When Ashton Kutcher starred alongside Brittany Murphy in Just Married, sparks flew both on-screen and off. They briefly dated, and rumors swirled that they might even have been engaged, though that tidbit was never confirmed. Before long, they parted ways. Then, on December 20th, 2009, Brittany Murphy's sudden, tragic passing at just 32 years old rattled Hollywood. Her official cause of death was pneumonia, anemia, and a mix of prescription and over-the-counter medications. Although no illegal substances were found in her system, many were left wondering how a vibrant actress could deteriorate so rapidly. The shock only deepened when, just 5 months later, her husband, Simon Monjack, died in the exact same home from eerily similar causes. Rumors about toxic mold circulated. Paranormal stories popped up too, especially because the house Brittany lived in once belonged to another star who had fled the property after bizarre experiences. No matter what the truth was, that house in the Hollywood Hills never shook its grim reputation. While Ashton publicly expressed his devastation at Brittany's loss, some fans questioned how close they had been and whether he had any inkling something was amiss, even if it was mere tragedy striking twice. Brittany's shadow now loomed over Ashton's story. If Brittany Murphy's heartbreaking end left fans reeling, another rumor about a different young actress took the shock factor to an even darker place.